Ichiro Suzuki is a man who not only revolutionized baseball, but shattered expectations and became a legend on 2 continents in the process. His journey crosses oceans and cultural divides, so stay with us as we uncover the story of a humble Japanese boy who became an MLB sensation. This is the tale of Ichiro Suzuki, a man who transformed the game of baseball forever. From Kobe to Seattle, Ichiro's inspiring journey. The journey to the top is never easy, and long before Ichiro became a household name in world of baseball, he faced challenges that turned out to be a part of a forging of a true champion. On the 22nd day of October back in 1973, a child was born in the small town of Toyoyama in Japan, just outside Nagoya. He grew up with his parents, Mibuyuki and Yoshi Suzuki, and his older brother, Kazuyasu Suzuki. With his dad being a baseball enthusiast, Ichiro picked up on the game pretty early, and by the time he was only 3 years old, Ichiro was practicing in his backyard with a tiny bat and ball. A couple of years later, when Ichiro was just in elementary school, his dad, Nobuyuki, who had played baseball in his high school days, had him running batting drills for up to 4 hours every single day. Dude was 7 years old, a baseball team member, and was already throwing 50 pitches, fielding 50 infield balls and 50 outfield balls, and hitting 500 pitches, 250 from a pitching machine and 250 from his father. But if you think that's impressive, you should know that Ichiro already had the word concentration inscribed on his glove as a little leaguer in Toyoyama. In hindsight, it's no surprise he became a baseball icon. He really began putting in the work from day one, and by the time he was 12 years old, he'd already made up his mind to pursue baseball professionally. Ichiro had his high school baseball career playing for one of the nation's prestigious baseball programs, Nagoya Aikoda Maiden High School. He played mostly as a pitcher instead of an outfielder, and by the end of his high school years, his batting average was .505 with 19 home runs. Pretty impressive, but Ichiro had more than paid his dues to get so good. Hurling car tires and hitting wiffle balls with a heavy shovel, he legit did everything possible to build strength, stamina, and wrists and hips despite his tiny physique. Imagine the disappointment after all the grinding when the 1991 MPB draft came up. No team drafted him till the 4th round. A lot of teams believe he didn't have the size for professional baseball. Boy, oh boy, were they wrong. And the Oryx Blue Wave of Nippon professional baseball ended up being the lucky team to pick him. After making his MPB Pacific League debut in 1992 at the age of 18, Ichiro spent 2 seasons in the minor leagues, all because of his then manager, Shozo Doi, didn't like his batting technique. Not gonna lie, it was quite the unorthodox pendulum swing he had. Sounds crazy, we know, but Ichiro spent 2 seasons making headlines and breaking baseball records in the MPB minor leagues, but he still wasn't promoted to the main team until he was at the start of the 1994 season, and what came after was just phenomenal. In all his 7 seasons in the MPB, starting from his rookie 1994 season, he was named League All-Star, won the Gold Glove Award, the Best 9 Award, and was the Pacific League batting champion. Oh yeah, 7 straight years of total dominance, and there's more. Ichiro also won the Matsutaro Shoriki Award twice, was the Pacific League RBI leader and stolen base leader in 1995, won the Japan Series in 1996, and was named Pacific League MVP in all of his first 3 seasons. Ending his time in MPB in 2000 with a batting average of .353, 118 home runs, 529 RBIs, and 199 stolen bases, Ichiro had casually had one of the best careers in Japanese baseball history, and it took him just 7 seasons to do so. Unseen hurdles, unwavering determination, Ichiro was about to rewrite history. Breaking barriers, Ichiro's groundbreaking entry into the MLB. Having conquered Japanese baseball, Ichiro felt it was time to make the big move. To make the move a bit easier, his team Oryx were struggling to keep him on their wage bill because of a deadline in the team's performances, so they were open to letting him go for a price rather than keeping him for the last year of his contract. With Ichiro using the posting system, Seattle Mariners won the right to negotiate with Ichiro and eventually agreed to a 3-year, $14 million contract with the Japanese player. It was time for the Japanese player to see what American baseball was all about. Eyes were all over Ichiro as soon as the move to Seattle was confirmed, all because he was among the first Japanese position players to play for an MLB team. And just like how he was looked down on in Japan, many people believed he just didn't have the physicality for the longer 162-game season in the MLB. And once again, Ichiro proved them wrong. This time it didn't take 2 years. No. From his debut in Seattle, the whole sports world knew there was something special about this dude. In the Mariners' 8th game, he showed the world what a weapon his throwing arm was by mowing down Oakland's Terrence Long, who had attempted to advance from first to third on a teammate's single to right field. The Japanese media dubbed the play the throw, but they were about to witness many more in the same season. Ichiro Suzuki's remarkable 2001 season saw him accumulate a rookie record of 242 hits, breaking Lloyd Warner's rookie record of 223 hits dating back to 1927, most hits by any MLB player since 1930. He also became the first player since Jackie Robinson in 1949 to lead his league in both hitting average and stolen bases. With a .350 average and 56 stolen bases, Ichiro was virtually unbeatable. With the MLB permitting all-star voting in Japan, Ichiro became the first rookie to lead all players in voting for the All-Star Game. He was named the American League Most Valuable Player and the Rookie of the Year, only the second player in MLB history to receive both honors in this same season. And we're not done yet. He also became the only player in Major League history to win an MVP, Rookie of the Year, Gold Glove Award, and Silver Slugger Award, all while playing in the All-Star Game. Talk about taking the league by storm, and he was just getting started. Sure, Ichiro had his tough times, like the Mariners crashing out of the ALCs on Ichiro's 28th birthday after a stellar season. And then in the next 2 seasons, Ichiro suffered late-season slumps that brought his batting average a bit lower. But one thing about his baseball legend is that he never stays down for long. And after that super impressive first season with a bat in hand and a unique style, Ichiro was ready to change baseball forever. Unmatched skills, how Ichiro revolutionized the game. Ichiro Suzuki's legacy is highlighted by many things, but most of it has to do with his unique playing style. The words of iconic sports writer Bruce Jenkins sums it up: there's nobody like Ichiro in either league, now or ever. The game has known plenty of slap hitters, but none who sacrifice so much natural ability for the sake of the art. Every spring, scouts or media types write him off, swearing that opposing pitchers have found the key, and they are embarrassingly wrong. His playing style really was that good. For starters, Ichiro almost never drew walks. His low walk total of 49 from his single-season record-setting 2004 season led him to be on base 315 times. He had a very unique batting technique, and while the media spent a lot of time criticizing his inability to improve his power when his Mariner teams were often low-scoring and he was not stealing as many bases as he should, Ichiro didn't mind. He even once commented, "If I'm allowed to hit 220, I could probably hit 40 home runs, but nobody wants that. When you're that good, you definitely can be this confident." He also had one hell of a pitch, and around when he was 42 years old, he could still touch 88 miles per hour with his fastball to go along with a mid-80s slider. Suzuki is still the only left-handed hitter with at least 2,000 plate appearances against left-handed pitching in Major League history to have a reverse platoon split. Yeah, you heard that right. He had better results hitting off left-handed pitchers than right-handed pitchers. Crazy stuff, really. And guess what's even crazier? His numerous achievements in the MLB. In his almost 2 decades in the MLB, Ichiro broke multiple league records and got 10 All-Star selections, 10 Gold Glove Awards, 3 Silver Slugger Awards, 1 AL MVP, and was a 2-time AL batting champion and 1-time AL stolen base leader. He holds the MLB record for single-season hits with 262, and at the end of his illustrious career playing for the Seattle Mariners, the New York Yankees, and the Miami Marlins, he had a batting average of .311, 3,089 hits, 117 home runs, 780 RBIs, and 509 stolen bases. He also achieved 10 consecutive 200-hit seasons, the longest streak by any player in history. Other than the honor of being inducted into the Seattle Mariners Hall of Fame, Suzuki is also the first MLB player to enter the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame. Even representing his country, Ichiro enjoyed success, leading Japan to gold medals at the World Baseball Classic in 2006 in San Diego and 2009 in Los Angeles. Completely phenomenal. Inspired by Ichiro's story? Hit the like button and subscribe for more remarkable sports journeys. Here's what makes this Japanese-American athlete such a sports inspiration. It wasn't just about the home runs and golden gloves. Ichiro's impact transcended the game itself. The Ichiro effect beyond the diamond. From his first season in the MLB, you could just tell that Ichiro Suzuki was going to be a player in the history books. A hitting streak of 25 and 23 games, an appearance on the cover of Sports Illustrated all in his rookie season was the tip of the iceberg. Fans from all over Japan literally took $2,000 baseball tours flying across the Pacific in and out of the US just to watch Ichiro's games. Safeco Field sushi stands began selling a spicy tuna roll served with wasabi and ginger they called Ichi rolls. Over 150 Japanese reporters and photographers got media access to MLB games, all because of Ichiro Suzuki. His global influence on baseball was something unlike the game had ever experienced. He was one of the first Japanese players to migrate to the MLB, and after him, it opened a sort of door between Japan baseball and the MLB. In those years when the world was more color sensitive, Ichiro showed that size didn't matter, and neither did nationality. It's all about your skill on the plate and the heart with which you played the game. Remember, this icon was already a star in Japan before coming to the MLB, so his status in Japan fueled interest in Major League Baseball in Japan. You can't talk about the $275 million broadcasting rights deal between MLB and Dentsu Inc. in 2003 without mentioning Ichiro Suzuki. And according to his agent, Tony Atanasio, you can send a package from the US to Japan with just Ichiro as the male name, and it'll get to this legend's doorstep. When it comes to global impact on the game, particularly for Asian and American baseball relations, it's all thanks to Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro left the Mariners in 2012 after 12 seasons, spending 3 seasons with the Yankees and the next 3 with the Marlins before returning to Seattle in 2018 for the final season of his career. A career ended, but a legacy remains. The next generation steps up to the plate, Ichiro's influence etched in their game. The legend continues Ichiro's lasting legacy. It's been several years now since Ichiro played his last professional baseball game, but his influence is as fresh as ever. He served as a special assistant to the chairman of Seattle for a few months after retirement. That's not all. Every and any Japanese in the MLB acknowledge Ichiro as the biggest influence for them taking the journey across the Pacific. There were special tour packages arranged for Japanese fans to visit the United States to attend his games. So of course, they all got to watch him at different points of his career, and Ichiro's work ethic never declined. Former Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks catcher Kenji Jojima, former Seibu Lions infielder Kazuo Matsui, Ichiro's namesake Saya Suzuki, and the modern-day MLB's most prized possession, Shohei Ohtani, all came to the MLB because Ichiro did back in 2000. Even the Japanese media aren't over Ichiro's exploits in the US and have national television news programs covering each of his at-bats. When you think of sports influence in baseball revolution, one name that should pop up in your mind has to be Ichiro Suzuki. Man, myth, legend. If you enjoyed this video by Ichiro Suzuki unveiling the mystery behind the MLB icon, check out the video on this screen now or the one we posted below because we're sure you'll like that one too. Let us know in the comments if there's another baseball player whose journey you'd like us to cover. See you there.